I am Abigail Green and welcome to our Comp 2 online class. I wanted to film a quick video, in order to, one, of course, welcome you to our course this semester, but also to just do a quick Blackboard run through so that you get the same face-to-face experience as my in-person students. So in order to save your time, let's get started. Up at the top, we've got our Start Here folder. It's exactly what it sounds like. Some info on navigating the course, alternative formats, about me, as well as my office hours, which are posted here, and then your introductory discussion board, which is due soon. So that is there for you. Below that, we have our course syllabus. I'm going to pop in here real quick. We're not going to run through the stuff that is the same in all of your course syllabi, but you should be going through and reading your course syllabi. So there's me. There's my office phone number. If I'm in here, I will definitely answer. If not, you'll need to leave a voicemail with a callback number in order for me to know who called and how to reach you. And then below that is my email address. Pretty simple. Be sure to use your Cali email so that we know it comes to my inbox and not my spam. That is the best way to reach me. I know Blackboard messaging exists, but it's kind of finicky for me. So if you're going to use that, make sure that you tick that little box at the bottom so that it also sends me an email. Otherwise, I feel like I don't get the notifications in a timely fashion every time. So I do prefer email. If I'm in my office, it is open. I'm answering it. I do respond to email Monday through Friday. Below that, again, some info that is the same in all of your courses. Below that, we have the information on our textbook. Now, quick information and tip here. So our textbook is right here listed. You'll notice it is integrated into our Blackboard page. So we'll look at it in just a second, but it is important that you go in to that textbook section and just open any of the links right there. Once you do that, your Blackboard will connect to the textbook and it will know that it's you every time you are trying to access the textbook. So you shouldn't have to log in, you shouldn't be typing in any extra information, but you have to open one of those links first. Again, we'll look in just a second, but you have to do that first before the links I provide you later will work. So be sure that you do that at the start of this semester. Below that, some expectations, purpose, goal. It is online, so you are going to have to be self-motivated in terms of doing your own work, keeping up with due dates. And of course, Comp 2 is a continuation of Comp 1. We're practicing those writing skills, those research skills. And really what I want to do is help you dedicate time to critical thinking and then help you feel good about the way that you are articulating that to other people. I want you to have a great idea and feel really confident in the way that you get that across to other people in writing. That's my personal goal to help you with in this class. So below that, you have the objectives, which are all pieces of that, and then our plagiarism AI policy. I don't want to spend a long time here. I just want to say the code of conduct is linked here. I've got different definitions. The main thing that you need to know is that any use of AI in this course or any other form of plagiarism is absolutely not allowed. And I will follow the policy outlined in the code of conduct when it comes to that. Below that, we've got some class policies, so stuff I expect you to do, stuff that you should expect me to do. A lot of this is about doing your work, turning it in on time, and being nice. And then, of course, important, I do want you to use Microsoft Word when you turn in particularly large assignments, so stuff like an outline or an essay. If you need help accessing using Microsoft Word, I'm more than happy to help you. I know the tutors over in the Tiger Learning Center are happy to help. So let me know if you have questions early. Below that, keeping in mind, my goal is to keep up with grading as well as I can, although sometimes it'll feel a little bit out of order if you really need something back. And then to help you. That's my whole goal. So ask questions if you have them. Be sure that you're logging in, you're turning in work. I don't allow any late work after the unit essay due date. I don't allow any late work during finals week, and I take no late rough drafts because we use them for our workshopping assignments. With other stuff, I try to be flexible, I try to be helpful because I know life happens, but if stuff is continuously late, it will be a 0. You do, of course, have to have access to a computer for an online class. And then grades, your essays are worth 60% of the course, your daily work is worth 25, and your final exam is worth 15. I use the average grading scale, I would say. You'll have assignments, we'll have discussions, you might have quizzes, and then below I've got quite a bit of information on your essays. So you do have to submit them to Blackboard in order to receive a grade by the due date. Each major essay has a 1 week grace period, but if they're late, you will receive a 10% reduction for each day late. Anything later than a week gets a 0. As a reminder, you have to turn in all the essays with a passable grade in order to pass the class. So you can see how that wouldn't work out. And then I have a note here on extensions, which are different than late essays. So an extension request for an essay must occur in writing at least 24 hours before that essay is due. So theoretically, you're going to email me and say, life, please can I have an extra day? And those are granted at my discretion. Below that, essay prep and submission. So again, it's going to be a Word file. You should be prepared to show draft history if I ask for it. 12-point, double space, Times New Roman in the proper place. And then in this class, I do allow essay revisions because I care about your learning, about your progression. So if you think to yourself, okay, I could do a better job of that. Maybe I didn't have the time. I didn't feel like I could dedicate the time to it, and I didn't ask for an extension. Or maybe I got the feedback and I think, oh, I could definitely improve that. Then you are allowed 2 essay revisions as long as the original essay received a grade. So you can't just not turn one in and then ask for a revision, right? Those are due 2 weeks after receiving a final, after you receive my notes, other than the persuasive essay, because you turn it in so late in the semester that those are due by the end of finals week. So that's a little bit different. And then the evaluation essay itself is the final exam. So no rewrites on that one either. Below that, you do have a final exam. You must take it to pass the class. There will be extra credit. There will be. So keep an eye out for that in things like announcements and email. And then again, we've got some of those policies that are the same in all of your classes, so I'm going to skip through them just a little bit. We do use some proctoring in the class. So in your first week, we have an assignment that is really meant to be kind of you getting comfortable with proctoring and me getting some of your writing. So you use it for that, and then we'll use it for that final. So make sure you come in and download Respondus if you haven't already, although I know there's info on it in the student orientation, so you might already have it downloaded. When you are completing those assignments, so the writing sample and the final, you will need a webcam, you will need some sort of ID, school ID is fine, and then a relatively quiet place to complete your exam. You will be asked to share your screen to perform a room scan in order to ensure academic integrity and make sure this course remains transferable. So in-person proctoring accommodations as listed up here may be used if you request them in a timely fashion. I do still expect that all assignments be turned in by their original deadline. So let me know early if we need to set that up. Below that, again, we've got some important links for you to review, and then our course schedule is down here at the bottom. So I'm going to back out of the syllabus. Below that, we've got that CAA that you've got to complete to get into our week 1, just like all your other courses. So be sure you do that. And then here is your collection of textbooks. When you open this, you will get the link to each book. Do not panic. We will not read all of each of these books. I have read these books and picked out what I think is best and what we really need. So this is the part where you can click on any of these links. Your textbook will open. And let's go ahead and look at that. So yours will look similar to mine, perhaps a bit different, and it will take a moment. So let it load, and your textbook is there. It works the same as any physical textbook, right? You can open the contents, you can preview the chapters, all of that stuff. The thing that is nice is that if you open the contents and see what you're looking for, you can just click the link and it'll take you to the page. So be sure that you click open one of those. Below that, we've got our major due dates. This is just a document with exactly what it sounds like. So I've got your outline, rough draft, and final draft dates, as well as your annotated bib for that persuasive research essay, all outlined here for you, so that hopefully this helps with planning those major assignments as the semester goes on. Below that, we've got our essay instructions. You can see right now the instructions for that first essay. You can open those, preview those. And then we've got our additional resources folder. It's exactly what it sounds like. There is some stuff on formatting. I've got our outline template. Just anything I thought might be helpful for writing the essays in this course. So an example outline, formatting help, citation help, all that stuff. Below that, we've got a bunch of stuff you can't see because the course is listed in reverse order so that while you're really high in motivation, you're doing the most scrolling, right? So if we scroll down I've got stuff that you don't have. But at the very bottom of content you can access is our institutional resources folder. The most important thing here is the Cowley College Helpful Links, which has the link to the ePortal through the library for you to do your research. Above that, week one, again, you've got to complete that course acceptance acknowledgement to access week one. We're going to open it. And the way that week one looks is the same way all of your weeks will look. So you'll have a to-do list at the top. You'll have any other content you need to review, whether that's a PowerPoint or PDF or whatever. And then you will have your assignments. So you can see all of the due dates listed. Your intro journal is due on the 31st. You've got 2 different dates for your discussion, a post date and a reply date, and then any other assignments. So let's open that to-do list because I utilize these every week. They always look the same. They tell you exactly what you're going to accomplish that week. So you're going to complete that CAA ASAP. In fact, you will have already completed it by the time you can open week one. And then I've got other reading you're supposed to do, anything that you're meant to review in Blackboard. So I tell you to review those instructions for that first essay. And then anything that you are actually turning in, I have the due date listed next to it in bold. So you can go through and basically check off each task. Now, when it came to the textbooks, I talked about me having other links for you. If I'm asking you to do a reading from one of the textbook, I will provide the link to that specific reading in the to-do list. But in order for these links to work, you have to already opened the textbook so that your account's linked. I hope that makes sense. All assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on their due date. So all of your to-do lists will look just like this. And this is the order in which you should navigate the week. I always, as far as I'm aware, I have gone through and always put the assignments in order of when their final due date is. So your intro journal is exactly what it sounds like. You're just introducing yourself to me a little bit. And then we have our week one discussion. And again, you can see your initial post is due here, and then your replies are due here. I've got a rubric. You can see how those points shake out. And your prompt will always be listed here. And then I've got your writing sample. So each week, for the most part, will look like that. I try to maintain a good level of consistency. That way you know what to expect from me and the course each week. So if you have any questions, if I forgot to preview something, anything you can think of, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to help because I really want you to have a good semester. So best of luck.